Are you feeling a craving for that divine feminine? The intuitive knowing, the trusting, the accepting, the receiving, the love, the unconditional love, just as you are. So there is a lot on masculine and feminine, and here's what I want you to know, that it varies across the world. However, there is one thing that we do know, and that is that prior to the Indo-European invasions, which occurred between 5000 and 3500 BCE, so before the Common Era, that's how it's referred to in academia, those divine feminine aspects and traits were revered. And so here's what we know. There is one thing that every person on this planet has in common. One thing that everyone has in common. That we all came from a womb. All of us. Every single one of us came from a womb. And that is how we are here on earth. Because we came from a mother. Now, it may not have been the best mother, but we are here. And I believe that there are many reasons why our relationships with our mothers may not be as fruitful as we desire them to be, because the patriarchy has come in and this male dominance and oppression of the female traits has taken over. And so we struggle to slow down, we struggle to relax, we also struggle to stand in our power, to speak our truth, which is a very divine feminine trait. And so I'm just going to read a small portion. Oh, there's a big storm coming. I love it, right outside my window. I'm going to read a small portion from one of my blogs. She never left us, only hid within us to rise, to once again rise. And I'm reading this because when it flowed through me, it felt magical. It felt as though I was being used as a vessel to bring this message forth into the world. And so here we go. Even through colonization and the patriarchal God that has reigned for centuries, the divine feminine was never taken from us. She never left us. She only buried herself deeper within us. What we see now is her resurrection. Yet her resurrection is not an external one. There is no second coming. She is resurrecting from within us. She is the second coming, and we are the vessel and the temple for the second coming. She rises up within all of us. And I'll stop there. Feel that, embody that, be with that. It's a radical passage. It's a radical passage, but there's so much truth in it. So let's break this down here. So even through colonization, so within the master's program in which I'm studying, we research colonization quite a bit. And this is the colonizers, so like Europeans coming over to America or going over to any other country and colonizing, bringing in their belief systems, bringing in, their way of life, their culture, their societal beliefs, and putting it on the people. Right? The people here I live in America, the indigenous people here had beautiful beliefs, and they still do, thankfully. But many of those beliefs were condemned. They were beat out of them. There were Indian schools, is what they called them. I know Indian's not the appropriate term, but that's what the actual schools are called. They were called Indian schools, in which they would cut off their hair. They would make sure they don't learn their language. They would ensure that they could no longer create or have children. I won't get into those details. But it was very horrific experiences for indigenous people. And this happened all across the world through colonization. Okay? Many of the beliefs of the indigenous beliefs believed in a divine mother. And it makes complete sense because, as I said, there is one thing that we all have in common. And that is that we all came from a womb. We all came from this mother womb. Now, what I will say is that I'm not in any way, shape, or form recommending that we just take out the word God as he and replace it with she. That's not going to solve any problems. It may feel good for a little bit, but that's not going to solve our problems. what we need to understand is how she is rising within us. And I say she with a capital H, okay? So her resurrection, so she is resurrecting from within us. The shadows that come up are misinterpretations that they are bad. Rather, what comes up from within us that's calling to be healed is a cry for help. It is a cry for love. It is a cry to the Divine Mother. I miss you so much. I need you. I love you. I want that love from you. And that's what we're missing. That is what is this core breakage in life that we are so disconnected from and stuck in the mind and stuck in the accomplishments and stuck in what we need to do and how we need to do it and what we need to say. Instead of speaking through our hearts, slowing down, reconnecting to the truth of who we are, and actually sharing what we're passionate about, what we truly came here to do. So we are the vessel and the temple. That is this body. It is the vessel and the temple for the second coming. And she rises up from within each of us. So many of you have probably heard about the chakra system. I say chakra because that's how it is. That's how I was taught in my Hinduism class, in my master's program. And that is the proper way to say it. So if you hear me say chakra, you know why. So in Hinduism, in Hindu Tantra specifically, the Kundalini is the Shakti, the female energy, and it rises through the chakra system to meet with Shiva, and she is now rising. She is the one that is crying out for justice. No longer she roars. She wants things to be different because you want things to be different. This is a time to unite, to come together, to be in the divinity that is us, to understand ourselves. And she calls us all, but only few will answer the call because it can be a lot to leave what we know or to set aside what we know to answer the call of our soul. And so many times what happens is people will buckle down on their fear-based patriarchal viewpoints and use control and condemnation and judgment of others to make themselves feel safe. But really, it's feeling small. So I'll go into just a little bit more detail here about the mothers. So if you have ever had a DNA test, what you'll notice is that everyone has at least 1% of African descent. And that's because we all stem from Africa. This is a proven fact. It is proven by data, by research. And so by DNA, it's proven. So we all have that at least 1% of somewhere in the African area. Now, then we ventured out from Africa and then we made our way into Europe and then eventually into the North America and South America about 15,000 years ago. So the natives in the indigenous in America have been here for thousands and thousands of years, and the Americans have only been here for about 300 years. So I just want to give you context into the timeline in which the Divine Mother storyline has been told and the shortness of the patriarchal storyline here in America. However, it was brought over from the Indo-Europeans, and that lived for at least 5,000 BCE. So about 7,000 years we've endured this. But humanity, based on what is known today, that humanity has been on this land, on Earth, for approximately 144,000 years. And when I say humanity, I mean Homo sapiens. Okay? Now, so we all came from Africa. And so our mother she is known as the Dark Mother, the Divine Mother, the mother of all. Dark matter is actually what scientists call what we don't know is out there. It's 95% of the universe, but really dark matter is mother. And so it is the Dark Mother of all of us. And it gives a whole new meaning to shadow work because we are coming into union with this mother that exists within us, this unconditional love, this compassion that is us, that works through us, that loves us, that wants us to have nothing but the best, and that asks us nothing other than to feel what we're feeling. Truly nothing other than to feel what we're feeling. And so I'm going to read some of the names. So she originated in Africa, and she has been called many, many names. I'm only going to read a few. Her Holiness, Queen Isis, Mother of Corn, the Lady of the Universe, the Queen of the Heavens, the Virgin Mary, Sophia, Inanna, Ishtar, Our Lady of Guadalupe, the Black Madonna. Okay, and so these are some of the names, and there's a whole list within the blog, and the blog is called She Never Left Us, Only Hid Within Us to Once Again Rise. And this is in there. It's just a short blog for this, but why I bring this up is because I'm sure you can feel the disconnect from the divine feminine. I can certainly feel it. I felt it within me. I was analytical, I was logical, I was controlling, I was fear-based. I had all of these ideologies, these beliefs, these thoughts that kept me from truly trusting, from feeling, from loving unconditionally. And once I was able to do what some may call the shadow work, the healing work, seeing what was in me that needed love, the parts within me that felt excommunicated or that felt unworthy of love. Those were the parts that I went within to understand, and I still do this work. It's an evolution. And so I invite you to take a look at this blog post, and if you have any questions, please feel free to send them in. Have a wonderful day.